Hello, everyone, and welcome back to game number 2 of the day, or game number 6 of this Stage 1 tournament for the PUBG Europe League Contenders Phase 3 promotion. My name is Esquire, joined here by Imperium for map number 2, going back to the deserts of Miramar. Imperium, big takeaways from game number 1 coming into this match.
Enviik won game 1. 4 Kings looked damn impressive, especially Higgy. And gotta say, Team Elite, after having a bad day 1, coming out with 6 points in game 1 today. That's 6 times the amount of points they already had. So in my opinion, it's a good start from them.
Definitely a much needed start for them. Yesterday, just to remind you, the teams that took down Chicken Dinners were MJ-Esports in game number 1, Why Not in game number 2, the members of the Istanbul Wildcats in game number 3, and then 3D Max in game number 4. But today is a new day. Teams starting to realize that, for better or for worse, it is certainly going to be a new set of games. And with that, our players are on the map, on the desert, left to their own devices to try to be the team that walks away with the most points, whether it be through survival, kills, or both. They will certainly be put to the test.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned the winners of although this circle. Could it be any more north, Esquire? Actually, it probably could, but
yeah, don't tempt the gods. Don't tempt the gods.
Yeah, don't tempt the gods. But so that's gonna have to push all of these teams that landed kind of towards the south area, southeast, southwest, to move up somewhat as quickly as possible, but also as calculated as possible. We'll talk about the standings later on, but right now I believe it is YMCA and 3D Max, all in that one building.
And 3D Max, another team that is looking at big performances, still sitting in first place, but not wanting to lose a member early on like they lost Noki at the start of game number 1. Wago going to be rolling through the building here. Sakura's got the interesting spot, though, is going to be able to quickly retreat off of the window and drop down and get the first floor advantage on top of Wago. And he is going to be spotting him. The spray comes out, trying to get the burst fire with the M16. Is not going to be able to find the fatal shots, but certainly putting the members of 3D Max on their back foot. Wago doesn't have any meds to work with.
I don't know why he didn't push Wago, though. Maybe he doesn't realize that it's only one member of 3D Max. But Squire, like, you can get that flush, you can get that kill. It was obvious that he had put Wago down to at least below 50 health. That's a bit of a missed opportunity, I feel, from Sakura, but maybe he's just playing it safe, right? And just now looking to join the rest of his team. He will have given that little bit of information.
No, I think that's I think that's the play from Sakura right there. There are definitely two ways to have played that. You mentioned both of them. I think that given with what Sakura was working off of, sure, he had the hits, but he didn't have at least a lot of armor for himself to work off of. So pulling off of that, sure, he already whittled your opponent down. I talk about this sometimes, Imperium, and PUBG is certainly a game of team fights. It's a game of rotations, but it's also a game of taking the opportunity to whittle down teams in whatever way you can without putting yourself at too much risk. A risk analysis is always going to be in play here for these competitive PUBG teams. And that's kind of the thing. Wago, he's severely on his back foot now for 3D Max. He's going to be kind of stuck to that area, especially without meds to safely rotate around and try to find some new compounds to loot up for. So regardless of the intention of Sakura moving after he got those shots, definitely not a bad move to make as we continue on here in game number 2 of the day.
Yeah, and Wago on the side of 3D Max from yesterday, finished in second place from the damage point of view. He looked very impressive in the games. But Airwaves, they had somewhat of a okay start to today with finishing in 9th place with 1 point, but didn't get any kills. They'll want to improve on that going forward in the rest of today's games. Team Elite, as we talked about, a good result from them in game 1, but they're coming very close to Istanbul Wildcats in Picado.
See, Shiv joining us in chat. Some of our PEL players have shown up to show some support to all of the other teams trying to make their way up the path to pro here through the PEL system. And while we have a little bit of dead time, we can kind of talk about that, what these stages mean moving forward, and what kind of the impact of that could be. A few shots actually coming out. It's going to be Team Elite here from Picado, able to find some frags onto the members of the Istanbul Wildcats. But again, back to this, at least the top 8 Imperium out of stage number 1 from this lobby. We'll be able to move on into stage number 2. And maybe in a few minutes, we can talk about what stage number 2 entails as this battle rages on. LL, for the members of the Istanbul Wolves, will continue to bleed out as 3D Max, another solo player, caught in another bad position. Different player rather for this squad, but Phantom will be going down very early on to Sakura. He found Wago early on, wasn't able to find that kill, but rotate away and maybe you'll find another one just like he did.
Yeah, it's a good start coming out from Istanbul Wildcats. Puts Team Elite on a bit of a back foot in this game too. But yeah, just to touch upon what you had somewhat mentioned. Stage 2, as you said, will include the top 8 from stage 1, but then it will also include 11th place position from the Contenders Phase 2. And then you'll have 2nd and 4th from the PL Open EU West. 2nd and 3rd from PEL Open EU East, and then 2nd place from PEL Open MEA. They will all be fighting for a spot in Contenders Phase 3.
Exactly right. As the building storm comes through the apartments of Picado, the Istanbul Wildcats able to find the frag and the flush onto Mr. Owada. Now just going to be 3 remaining members of Team Elite across down to the south here in Picado and spotted out as the Mini 14 is shots for Levant. Try to ring true, rather not going to be able to find the mark, but the pressure still being felt here as another battle rages on the south, or rather the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. That's going to be the members of Why Not taking casualties to powerful Norky's grenade comes in strong, taking down Korja.
Yeah, so the good thing for Why Not is that they do have those buildings that are generally quite open that they can move around and dodge the grenades, but the negative is the fact that there's only 2 buildings that they can kind of protect themselves from. As we see in our mini-map, you've got Powerful just kind of occupying good flanking positions from overall all angles. You've got Mini 14 from Marsalek. That's going to do a bit of damage from the distance. The Norcus is kind of facing right directly in the direction of Why Not. So yeah, they're put under a bit of pressure. They're going to have to be careful. And then you also have ToxicPlayers in the distance. So Why Not? They're pinched.
So that's where things become a little bit tricky. If Why Not is able to recover off of this, certainly Powerful not going to be pushing it too aggressively, but Why Not able to find the return frag back onto Norky's with a nice M24 headshot. Continuing to draw the attention, though, for the members of Toxic. Either they don't have DMRs or they don't have optics because they're not looking that direction. They're not putting out any pressure. But as this push starts to come out, Anna Senpai going to be trying to toss that nade out. Is not going to be able to find it. I don't think we have sound. I'm going to double check, make sure my sound's on. My sound is definitely on. Do you have sound, Imperium? There we go. Okay, I think one of our observers.
Yeah, it's very loud. Yeah, it was very. I think it was very quiet. My apology. It was very quiet.
Yeah, I think one of our observers is missing some sounds. So we'll get that corrected for you guys as frags continue to come out. Ghost Star, again, that impact player for Powerful, is able to find at least one, and Anna Senpai gets flushed out of the game. The return frags coming out though. Now starting to lend their hand in this engagement will be the members of Toxic. Sammy Toxic with the Mini 14 comes out on the XHR. Archie going to be finding another one. The SKS bringing truce. She created goes down. And then the final nade comes out. Ghost Star with the third nade connection onto Korja. Out they go in 16th place position.
Yeah, sometimes that's just something you just can't really do anything about. But as we turn back our attentions to the side of Istanbul Wildcats and Team Elite in Picado for now, as we do have sound back for you guys. Paul Back's doing his best to prone himself down, but he gets knocked down by Anil.
He'll be getting knocked down here in the casino area of Picado as this battle rages on. In the centralized area of the map that's in the blue zone, not going to be even worth fighting for. Even in phase 1, this area of the map was pretty much just going to be a power play between the Istanbul Wolves, Wildcats rather, and the members of Team Elite. But with that second shift now, heading up here just off of the southeastern position of La Cobraria, MJ-Esports lining themselves up for a powerful mountain play here. A lot of lines of sight to be had, but a lot of teams will start to cluster around the base of this hillside like we're seeing now. The members of Airwaves crossing the paths of ToxicPlayers who are looking to find a few shots as they crash into the warehouse.
Perfect strategy. 4 vehicles moving on forward, so none of them gets really flushed more than once. But talking about getting flushed, that is Team Elite being put under a lot of pressure by Istanbul Wildcats. I don't think that's the squad, right? Because you still have 15 teams, but you can't help but kind of think that's when rather than if that's going to happen, as Team Elite will look to survive as much as possible. But Enviik, the winners of Game 1, occupying the mountainside, it's going to give them a lot of vision of the teams around them. They'll have the protection of the rocks. They'll be able to really just position and move around to give themselves the best advantage moving forward, as Four Kings also looking to do a similar kind of thing.
I kind of want to go back to that Picado fight and talk about it a little bit more, Imperium, for the sole fact that I think this might be a storyline that begins to develop over the course of this tournament. What we saw both of those teams do right there, both the Istanbul Wildcats as well as Team Elite, that's not competitive PUBG play, at least from a strategical standpoint. That's the type of play where someone is trying to make a dominant stand for that loot location. They don't want to be sharing Picado with another team, and well, they risked it all essentially to try to say, don't come back here again. We're going to fight you, even if the blue zone succumbs us, even if the circle, the second phase that we see, shifts far away from us. We're going to be here right in your face. And that's something that you guys at home as viewers should maybe keep your eye on, as well as these Miramar games will continue on throughout the rest of this promotional tournament.
Totally agree. And Istanbul Wildcats, they had a solid day yesterday, finishing, ending the day in 4th place overall. But in Game 1 of today, they finished in 11th place with 0 points. So I think within reason, they're looking to make a name for themselves in Game 2. They're looking to get back that level of confidence. So maybe that's part of the reason why they flushed onto Team Elite in Picado, which, as you said, is kind of outside the normality of competitive PUBG play.
Three-way fight going to be popping off here as the members of YMCA Esports have spotted out not one but 2 different squads. And as well as CRIPS, they're going to be trying to disable the vehicle of the members of Airwaves. Hawk going to be tagged down. The SLR shot will be ringing true to the head, putting them on their back foot. But CRIPS is also going to be pulling back, trying to get to some safety, some bits of deflate up on this far, far high mountainside to get those meds rolling before they again try to get those peaks. Possibly even not just going to be a reposition of the motorcycle. But this is one of those areas on the map. It's incredibly hard to get those shots, and if you find the knock, well, then it's still incredibly difficult to actually find the flush. But the information you pick up is really where those spots start to shine.
Yeah, but look at that zonal shift. I was going to talk about how CRIPS had a great position, but they don't really have much of a good position for as long as they're going to have to try and make their way not only into the circle, but across the road.
Sure.
And we talk about roads being such a negative for when you have to do it in these circle shifts. And it's definitely going to put them under a lot of pressure. But SEEKORG down the southwest side of the map, they have a great position for themselves inside the circle. Should be very well protected coming into the next couple of minutes. But as we see, Elgiganten and YMCA, a couple of members are close to each other. SEEKORG didn't quite get the job done onto 3D Max earlier on in the 1v1, but he's going to look to make up for it right now.
Tries to get some spray out, but the members of Elgiganten Gaming will be third-partying onto that. Not even the members of Enviik that were able to support their teammate. No, it's going to be the third-party bodyguard as more crashes start to occur. On the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you see that the members of SEEKORG at least will be losing one as Barlos gets dropped down and out by Stratus of MJ-Esports. Killfeed continues to light up, unfortunately. CRIPS are going to be losing one to their own, and then it's going to be capitalized on by the members of Airwaves. Certainly, it's terrible when you end up going down to a vehicle mistake. It's even more so, though, when a team is there to capitalize on it and pick up that free kill, and that's exactly what happened there, as it's going to be YMCA Esports trying to hold off the push from Enviik. Fai going to be dropped down, and out SEEKORG trying to find the remaining spray onto the likes of Enviik, but is not going to be able to do it. Flamey, he's going to be there. Picks up SEEKORG. Out they go. Kill point secured, but Rip and Robin bleeding out in the shack up the hill.
Rip and Robin are facing hassle from Elgiganten, so there's nothing really they can do other than hope that maybe Flamey, who's gotten in that vehicle, is going to be able to drive up the hill, possibly get the revive, possibly try to make their way forward. But Tarlan, they have a good compound, they have good vision, they have good sight onto ToxicPlayers, as Four Kings are also close to Futbolist.
Going to be close, going to be trying to set something up here as they look around, but not able to find anything just yet. One of the remaining members of this 3D Max squad, Wago, will be trying to find something. Again, he still sits on the hillside.
Wago, he seems to be a one-man army throughout this game too. As we are just going to try and make our way forward. Yeah, he's in this 1v1 right now on the side of Istanbul Wildcats. Slippy Zerg is close by. So we see that Max 3D is 3D Max, my apologies. They are supporting Wago. They're trying to get the flank around from the southern side onto Istanbul Wildcats. But as we get an overview, that zonal shift, could that kick those teams any more in the face? It shifted heavily up north, giving Airwaves a high chance of surviving later on into this game. But now, as the time is ticking, phase 4 is gonna start moving in the next 30 seconds. So the side of either Istanbul Wildcats or 3D Max, they need to make a move, and that's exactly what they are looking to do. Levant is down to low health. Sippy Zerg finds out and takes down one member of 3D Max for now. Knock you down. Wago is going to be once again on his own. It's what he's looking to do, and he gets one knockdown right now. And he's going to look for another knockdown. Wago is a one-man goddamn army for his team. I told you he was impressive, and he's shown it right now in game 2. But time is ticking. He's going to look to try and get the revive. He's going to try to look to push himself forward as we are down to 12 teams, 34 players alive in the 70-minute mark of this game. SEEKORG well inside the circle, looking for Airwaves, looking to try and occupy this compound as quickly as possible. Just this game 2 of day 2 in this Contenders Promo Stage 1. I hate to see it happen. Amorous has been taken down, and that's Airwaves finishing this game 2 in 11th place. Higgy on the side of Four Kings has been knocked down from Futbolist. Powerful. They're just outside the circle, but they're facing a lot of pressure from Tarlans at the top of that hillside. Marcelic looking to prone his way through, trying to be very careful. But when you have the high ground against you, it's so risky. Grenade is going to look to be spotted out. Great frag. What a Kobe from Pancho to knock down Marcelic, putting them under pressure.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We should be good to go here on the stream. Sorry for those technical difficulties if you were seeing a little bit of stop motion there, but everything should be back to normal. We'll continue to monitor it, though, as we go. Back here into the game, 10 teams will be alive, just shy of that 20-minute mark, 30 players alive. As we continue forward, that's a 3-player per team average that we're going to be working off of. And Imperium, walk us through what we're going to be seeing here in the mid-game.
Oh, man. So Airwaves did get taken out in 11th place. So, yeah, we are down to 10 teams. SEEKORG with this circle, they have it all in their favor along with, my apologies, my English will finally find itself, MJ-Esports. But what I love about MJ-Esports, Esquires, they're in a 2-2-2 split. So if 2 members get knocked down in one area of the circle, they're still able to survive, and they have quite a central line along with Elgiganten. Team Elite, that one final member, he's able to survive for so long in this game, but Futbolist outside the circle looking to take a couple of shots onto Four Kings and then make their way across. 10 seconds until this blue zone starts moving in, and as you know, Esquire, phase 5, that starts to do a lot of damage.
That's when it certainly becomes a little bit less than minimal, where it really starts to wear down not just on your meds, but also on your ability to continue to stay alive here in this game. Almost at that 20-minute mark, though, and some teams in a little bit worse positions than others. One squad trying to make that reposition will be YMCA Esports as Sampula tossing nades down on top of Phosphord of the members of the Four Kings. They might be able to find it. Tag comes out. Going to be able to find the return frag, though, on to Turbo Banani, and down he goes. Phosphord able to find the other member of YMCA from the blue zone. will be wiping out that squad. That's going to be a really good pickup for the Four Kings, as they were almost looking like they were exiting out of the game in 10th place.
1 health he got knocked down to. 1 health. What a great play from Foster. But this is Elgiganten putting Futbolist under a lot of pressure outside this circle. That is what happens when you don't move in quickly enough, when you're able to occupy the edge of the circle. And this is Elgiganten looking to add to their kill feed overall, taking down Genzo for now. But Futbolist, they're still in it. They're still able to... Actually, no. Have they been eliminated? My apologies.
Yeah, they have been gone. Yeah, they have been down and out. Out they go here of the game as Elgiganten looks to try to recover off of this previous knock that had occurred onto Hugstar. 7 teams now remain as they are beginning to drop like flies at the 21-minute mark. Trico going to be looking over in this direction. All 4 members for the Tarlans going to be alive this time around. No fences, no buildings in sight for them to crash into. But as we say that, Sammy Toxic going to be able to find at least a knock onto the members of these squads that are approaching onto the hillside where MJ-Esports is lined up. Return frag going to be coming out. That's a nice trade on to Happy. Neither of these knocks going to be secured.
Yeah, great revives coming out from Tarlan, but the fear is that you're using your resources, you're using your med kits, and that's another knockdown coming out from ToxicPlayers. Are pinched right now, and there's not really much they can do because there's no compounds. There's not a lot of rocks that they can really hide behind. All they can do is do their best to maybe get return fire, and that's exactly what they have done onto Sammy Toxic.
One of the final few circles going to be popping here as they try to figure out how to make this rotation. One team insignificant is going to be having the tough time doing so. Will be SEEKORG.
Yeah, they will. They're going to have to cross the road. I mentioned it earlier, how having to cross the road into the circle, especially this late stage of the game, is so risky. They're going to have to use the med kits, not med kits, smoke grenades as much as possible. But already, they've been spotted out by MJ-Esports. Stratos, with that mini 14, is looking to do as much damage as he can without taking it himself, and he will, of course, communicate that with the rest of his team. ToxicPlayers right now, they're looking to try and continue forward against Tarlans Esports. Still inside the circle, credit where credit is due. Happy is just kind of trying to stay alive. He's got nade prone. He just flied out, but he's taking damage from Elgiganten, who took down Futbolist. So they're trying to move their way forward. 18 players alive, 6 teams. Fisk on the side of SEEKORG does knock down Stratos, but Stratos returns that knockdown onto Philo with a grenade. However, Panchko right now is able to just do whatever he can. Tarlan, you got to give him credit. They've kept alive for so long after feeling pinched for so long in the late stages of this game. Powerful. They're still kept going. Still 18 players and 6 teams.
Certainly has not been an easy game for any of these teams to make it here this far, and the struggle still continues as 6 teams remain, all looking in this direction, all having to cross open wide terrain with just a little bit of dips and dives here for them to hide behind. That defilade becomes also important in these final stages of the game, but it's really MJ-Esports Imperium that continues to hold on to that man-made cover. Really don't have to move much off of this. Kind of let the teams surrounding you whittle themselves out and move forward.
But you got to give credit to SEEKORG. They're trying to push through, right? You know, they haven't really gone down without putting up a fight for now. They're using grenades that they have to try and put MJ-Esports under pressure and actually push them away. And that's what that can happen. But Elgiganten also in the distance getting a grenade knockdown onto Dexty.
Going to be able to get the knock as the zone closes out. Hardships down to the south where the members of Elgiganten Gaming are fighting off against the likes of ToxicPlayers. One knock going to be going down. Happy, the only member currently left on their feet for this Toxic squad. And the question becomes, what will they be able to put off as very shortly here, Imperium, the members of the 3 squads to the north, SEEKORG, MJ-Esports, as well as Tarlans, would have lines of sight if they push their way down. But for now, no one's playing really circle position off here.
I don't get why Tarlans are kind of moving in the opposite direction of the circle. They could actually use what's happening between Elgiganten and Toxic to actually maybe put pressure onto Elgiganten with that distraction. But Happy, he gets taken out. The grenades get the better of them, and ToxicPlayers get eliminated in 6th place. 5 teams left, Esquire.
Unfortunate to see for them, but fortunate if you're one of the 5 remaining squads here in this lobby. Shots coming out as Tarlan's going to be able to find a trade here with the members of MJ-Esports. Both teams going to be working with a deficit now as they pull back to try to find some cover. Many back to their fallen teammates, Stratos, to try to stick the res before the surely fiery grenades will be coming out here for the members of the Tarlans. None yet, as that's going to be the third-party action. Well, SEEKORG with the M416 spray, able to find one onto Junu.
On a side note, powerful Ghostar, a one-man squad right now, has survived for so long and put his team so much further in the placement points point of view. I question what Tarlans were doing and what they could have done, but what they've now done is exactly what I kind of talked about, only on a different team. And they've actually flanked to put pressure onto MJ-Esports and maybe occupy the building. But look at Ghostar. He's proning his way down. He's occupying that building. He's now done what he can to get into the circle as quickly as possible, while all the remaining teams around him just take each other out. But he's spotted out one member of SEEKORG. He gets taken out. Powerful is eliminated in 5th place. Great job done by him, though.
This is going to be a very tactical, a very strategical, a very methodical battle that plays out here in the final 4 minutes or so of this match. 4 teams alive, and with all 4 up, Tarlans are looking to take down a big victory here, but they have to fight against the likes of the 4-man stack of Elgiganten Gaming, who's about to spot out one, is able to get the spray off, not able to find that fatal connection. One more shot would have done it on top of Moonlight. Instead, Trico will be resorting for the underhand grenade toss right up on top of his person. Doesn't even need the blast. It's going to be the knock coming out from the Scar, and then the flush from the frag grenade, as the members of SEEKORG still continue to at least hold on to this outside wall position from where MJE's 3 remaining members have been kind of bottled into.
Well, Elgiganten have the perfect position because you have 3 squads in that one small area, and Elgiganten are just kind of just not in the opposite direction, but they're just have space all on their own that they can kind of move around, and they are inside the circle as we see the knockdown come out from MJ-Esports. And he's doing a great job.
Shots coming out. That's going to be a big spray down in epic fashion between 2 different squads. Tarlans will be wiped out in 4th place position. However, now turning their attention towards SEEKORG will be MJ-Esports, but the trades come back and forth between both of these squads. Furax going to be going down. Fisky going to be flushed out of the game. 3 teams remaining, 9 players alive, a 3-player per team average, but that's quickly going to change here as knocked players are being flushed left and right. Elgiganten, you almost forgot about them inside of this match on the hillside with 3 alive, but they are in a position to rain down hellfire on their final remaining members left in this game.
SEEKORG doing a great job so far in this game. 5 kills for their team. They are lying in 3rd place. And just want to point out, Elgiganten in this game 1 finished in 3rd place with 10 points. So they're looking to follow up with another great result as Philu. He's not afraid to fire out those shots, put MJ-Esports under a lot of pressure. And that's actually just putting Elgiganten in an even better position. You see them actually now starting to separate at the top of that hill, looking to find every angle, every position, because they know they have the squad advantage as numbers tell a big picture. And
see, that's the tough decision that SEEKORG's Philo had to make right there. But the spray comes in from Savage around the flank, is able to wipe out the entirety of MJ-Esports. Oh, no. One more shot will do it. Philo is exposed, and it's going to be the blue zone. The point denied coming in, serving Elgiganten a warm 10-piece chicken dinner to come out of game number 2 of the day, game number 6 of stage 1 of the PUBG Europe League Contenders Promotional for phase number 3. What a game, though, Imperium. It's been exciting pretty much all throughout this, and that's kind of what you expect in these types of promotional tournaments. You expect scrappy plays, not just from teams not really knowing each other and not knowing the rotations that other opponent teams are going to be making, but also because these games can be big statement games, not just for the teams you're facing off against in these lobbies, but also for some of the PELC teams that are watching and some of the PEL teams that are also scouting out talent.
Yeah, as they say, you kind of got to dress to impress within reason. That's what these teams have got to do. They've got to dress on the map, ready to impress the teams around them, put them under pressure. And that's kind of what we saw In this game, from the likes of MJ-Esports in particular, in fairness, SEEKORG did a great job, but Elgiganten had the position all throughout the final stages of this last game. And following up, as I said, with a great result in game 1, game 2, that's consistency. And we talk about how important that is for these teams. So if they continue on in the last 2 games of today, that will put them in a very good spot going into day 3, Esquire.
That is at least the game plan for these teams moving on forward. Taking a look at some more of these highlights from this game. Good shots coming out. 4 Kings really saving at least their efforts in match number 2 from those blue zone shots.
Look at that.
Oof, Elgiganten Gaming. Yeah. Nellas, to be exact, really making quick work of the Futbolists. And then, unfortunately, even Kings fall.
I did feel a bit sorry for Futbolists, in fairness. It was a bit of a shame that they got pinched going into the circle, but hey, look, that's a way of PUBG, right? Nothing you can really do other than just try your best. But MJ-Esports, great grenade coming out from Firaxa from SEEKORG.
Oof, yeah, that placement was going to be primed right there for the member outside on the wall. This was a pretty good play from Trico right there. The safe play not to go down to a snake in the grass. Then that epic spray coming out of Fixke of SEEKORG. I'm totally butchering that name. And Saint, I know you're in chat saying it. So, hit me with the phonetics of it. Good spray. Elgiganten really made quick work of that final circle.
Well, that's the thing. Elgiganten, as I said, they had a great position because the teams that were kind of occupying around that building were putting so much pressure on each other that all Elgiganten had to do was pick up the pieces. But we see the point standings from this game 2 of day 2. Airwaves finishing in 9th place with 4 points. Not a bad game, but kind of not what they would prefer.
A lot of teams picking up kills, though, in this game, and that's kind of very rapidly apparent by looking at the 9th through 16th place positions coming out of the second match of the day. Let's kick it over to the top. Let's see what the top 8 teams from this match alone were able to put up. Another 20-point game coming in from the victors. Elgiganten Gaming, though, this time having their banner fly high in that first place position.
And also MJ-Esports, they got 10 points in game 1 as well. So following up with 12 points, great consistency. SEEKORG, they did great yesterday, especially with their level of consistency. And another 3rd place finish with 11 points will once again just keep them close to the top of the leaderboard, especially because they were lying in 2nd overall after day 1. But look at this kill feed from day 2. Are you really surprised? Mini Bear on top of 4 kills, followed by Forax from SEEKORG.
I'm surprised that no one's been able to get past 5 kills yet, Imperium. That's the that's the mark that someone has to surpass here in these matches. But I mean, hey, at least it's a benchmark for someone. 4 kills is nothing to shake your head at, especially in these competitive matches. But maybe the more important stat than kills, aside from points, is going to be the damage done, the impact that you had in the map. Trico from Elgiganten Gaming having a massive day so far with 684 damage. Nellas as well from the exact same squad, putting up almost the same 1,200 damage combined between those 2 teams. And these are going to be some squads to look head-to-head on. MJ-Esports, Elgiganten Gaming, 1st place and 3rd place from this match. Very, very close in terms of numbers, and you can see how those point differentials will really come into play.
Yeah, Elgiganten, with that damage feed, was just able to help his team do so much more and, of course, get that win. Between Trico and Mini Bear, as I said, Mini Bear did such a great job for MJ-Esports, getting 4 kills, 3 knocks, more importantly, and then a bunch of damage as well. But yeah, that was game 2. Impressive play coming out from a number of these teams.
Yeah, so when you do see a lot of knocks and not a lot of kills, if you can find a way to better secure those flushes in future games, man, what it could mean for your performance could be absolutely insane. But that's game 2 in the book, a different winner for every game so far of the tournament. No one has been able to put up repeat performances as we break into the 7th match here of stage number 1 coming up soon. Myself and Imperium going to be back here on the casting desk to bring you the action. Stay tuned. Don't touch that browser. We'll be back in about 10 minutes time.